Welcome to CSL TV, and I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is just a review, a reaction, and an informational channel. Hopefully, the informational part can help you or someone out, and we're just gonna watch some videos and talk about them. Now, if you've been rocking with me, I just want to say I appreciate the love. You guys are keeping that comment section lit up, keeping my mind reading. I try to respond to, most of y'all. Some of the stuff is negative. I'm sorry, I do not respond to negative stuff. But other than that, it helped me look at things, differently than how I think about it. Because we, as people, have our way of thinking, and then for those that let others influence it, sometimes it can be beneficial. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much, so you already know what time it is, so let's get it.
Kevin went into Danielle's room. Then he started looking out the window. He did notice a lot of flies, and he saw the flies were growing the closer you got to the shed. They saw two large black plastic bags. They got out a box cutter, sliced it, they saw a leg. It was the 23rd of August 2018 that our story gets off, and it starts in a mobile home in Clinton Township. Clinton Township sits northeast of Detroit proper, about 30 minutes away. So in Clinton, you'll find a pretty extensive mobile home park, and one of those was rented by a Robert Joseph Marzejka. He lived in a house with his 3 children. You had Danielle Marzejka, his son Robert Marzejka, 24 years old, and then Kevin, 23 years of age. Danielle was the youngest of the kids. She was 18 years old. Joseph's wife and the mother of his children, Jill, she passed away in 2011. Danielle lived in that home with her boyfriend also, Saren Bryant. Danielle and Saren had been dating for years, and he was initially living an hour and a half away with his family. So Danielle and Saren had a room, Robert had a room, Kevin and his girl Erin had a room, and Joseph, the dad, who rented the whole place, he would sleep on the couch, giving the bedrooms to his children, which is like, fair play to you. Joseph, he worked as a painter, like a general contractor, and his 2 sons, Kevin and Robert, they would often work with him, especially, when they needed some money. Danielle herself was work the night shift at National Coney Island, a chain of restaurants in the greater Detroit area. And Saren, her boyfriend, he done work there too.
So this sounds like they have a good father who let the kids have the rooms, and they all work together, to make the household work and flow for them. He didn't mind sleeping on the couch because he's a parent. He making those type of sacrifices so his kids will be comfortable. Plus, they all helping out anyway. But we gonna see how this story turned out, where things just turned for the worse.
Neither of them had a car, so when they were going to work, they would often grab a ride with a friend of theirs who also worked at this place. On the 22nd of August 2018, Danielle, Saren, and this friend of theirs, they all drove to work beginning the 9 p.m. shift, before this friend dropped Danielle and Saren off at their home at 8 a.m. the following morning, and as they were walking in, after a long night, going to go to bed, Joseph was walking out, about to start his day. That evening, now the 23rd of August, both Danielle and Saren, they were scheduled in for another night shift at Coney's. The friend who always bring them to work, she would message Danielle saying she couldn't give them a lift that day. And she sent this message to Danielle at 1 p.m. 4 hours later, at 5 p.m., she messaged Danielle again saying, alright, my car is done for, but got another ride first. Then at 7 p.m. she texted Danielle for a 3rd time saying, uh-oh, the ride fell through. And none of these messages reached Danielle. She said, alright, listen, I'm sure I'll see Danielle and Saren at work later on that day. No sweat. They missed the shift, and that worried the friend then even more. They were responsible people. The next morning, after finishing her shift, the friend went to the house. Joseph and Robert were there, let the friend in. She had a look around her bedroom. It was a bit all over the place. She called around to a couple of her friends. Nobody had seen them. And again, there would be a no-show at work. It was then on the 26th of August that Danielle's brother, Kevin, and his girlfriend, Erin, they were becoming really, really worried. Kevin went into Danielle's room, looking around the place. Then he started looking out the window into the yard, and he saw that the grass outside was really trampled, really disturbed, as if there had been, activity there. So Kevin went out to investigate. He did notice a lot of flies, and he saw the flies were growing the closer you got to the shed. Kevin got
I know if I see something like that, oh man, and the flies got stronger and stronger, and it seemed like some Conjuring type of crazy, you know, stuff that I've seen on the movie. Ain't no way in the world I'm getting closer to it, and I'm going on like this because of the smells. Yeah, I'm immediately calling 911, and I'm already thinking the worst, because I'm like, who is this in my goddamn shed? Who is this that put this back here? And then now you're thinking, dang, I hope this isn't a dead body.
Kevin got the key out for the shed, and he unlocked it, opened the door, and the flies just began to spread. And at the back of the shed, they saw two large black plastic bags. Joseph had arrived at this stage to see what was going on. They got out a box cutter, sliced it, they saw a leg. The police were then called.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Well, my sister's been missing for 4 or 5 days. Her and her boyfriend. And we just found 2 bags in the shed, and there's flies all. I think they're in the shed in a bag, okay?
What's going on here?
We have these bags
Like dust in there.
filled with flies, and they don't look good. I can't even.
That doesn't look normal.
Oh yeah, it's dude. We don't have to talk. We're confirmed. We're confirmed. Confirmed.
It's confirmed, yes.
In one bag, Danielle. In the other, Saren. Danielle was known as a beautiful soul who would put others before herself. Saren, a joker. A lot of fun and someone who was always sure to make his friends laugh and put people at ease. The police cordoned off the area, right, and friends and family arrived. Shock was the only reaction.
They both work with me. I dropped them off after work on Thursday morning. They've been missing since Thursday at 8 a.m. That's when I dropped them off. That's the last time they were
Where'd you
seen.
drop them off?
Here, their house, after work.
Both victims, Danielle and Saren, had severe head fractures. Inside the shed, along with the bodies, they found a plastic bag with some bloody items, including a rubber hammer that was likely the attacking weapon, pillows, duct tape, and a sheet that would have come from their bed. The investigation swiftly turned on those around the 2 victims, and more specifically, the one person who was not there when they were found. Robert Marzejka. Search of the house that day did not reveal him. He had left the house and gone to a motel that was 6 minutes away. The police desperately wanted to speak with him. 7 years before all of this, Robert had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and paranoia, and had been hospitalized a number of times over the years. This is right after his mother, Jill, she passed away. His family didn't have a clue where he was. He then left the inn, leaving behind his cell phone, his laptop. He drove to Toledo, just on the border, and it was found from there he got in one of them good old Greyhound buses all the way to Cincinnati, Ohio. He arrived in Toledo at around 3:45 a.m., but what Robert didn't know was that the police were hunting for him by this stage, and had already been to the bus stations handing out photos of him. He was wearing a blonde wig, a hat, and sunglasses. So the Greyhound employees immediately told the police where he was. At this point, he was in Cincinnati at the Greyhound station and was wandering around for some time before asking an employee if he could use a computer. He had left his behind. They directed him to a nearby library, and when the police got to Cincinnati, they went that way. He was then arrested at the library by US Marshals. Now, for when he did what he did, we don't know, but at some point while they were sleeping, he went into their room. Robert agreed to return to Clinton Township to face the 2 charges of murder. Robert's DNA was found on all items. They were going with the insanity defense, but he also never showed any remorse for doing what he did. The motive has never been determined. He knew what he was doing according to the doctors, and he did it anyway. The jury came back after less than an hour, guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here with me. Please take care of each other and yourselves, because I love you.
Just because he had all the mental health issues, he knew exactly what he was doing. And I mean, you can't play insanity, none of that, because for the simple fact, he had went off with disguises, wearing a blonde wig and stuff like this to try to hide who he really was. Thank God, you know, for now modern technology, and it isn't that old stuff from back in the day from the 60s where they didn't have the resources to be able to hunt these type of people down. Now it's like it's just getting better and better, more in hands, as we can say. But yeah, my condolences goes out to the family, those 2 beautiful souls that they lost. Nobody know why. It's just sad that people think they can make those type of decisions when it's really supposed to be high-powered natural causes. So now we about to get into a 911 call. I guess the baby ain't breathing or something like that. But we about to see how this thing play out.
Kneel next to her and look in her mouth for food or vomit.
Okay, I'll do.
Is there anything in her mouth?
No.
Okay, you need to place your hand on the baby's forehead and your other hand under her neck and shoulders and slightly tilt the head back, like she's looking straight up towards the ceiling. And put your ear next to her mouth. Can you feel or hear any breathing?
Y'all can hear her breathe?
You can hear her breathing? Is she breathing normally?
No.
Okay, well, we're going to have to start CPR on her. I'm going to tell you how to give mouth to mouth, okay? With the baby's head slightly tilted back, completely cover her mouth and nose with your mouth and blow 2 puffs of air into her lungs, about 1 second each, just enough to make the chest rise with each breath, okay?
All right.
Did you feel the air go in and out?
Yeah, I tried it one time.
You got to do it two puffs of air into the lungs, about 1 second each. Just enough to make the chest rise.
Yeah, I feel air going in.
Okay, now listen carefully. I'm going to tell you how to do chest compressions. Place 2 fingers on the breastbone right in the center of the chest between the nipples, okay? Now you need to push down 1.5 inches with only your fingers touching the chest.
Yeah.
Pump the chest hard and fast 30 times, at least twice per second, but you have to let the chest come all the way up between pumps, okay? Have you done 30?
Yeah.
Now with your hand on her neck and shoulders, you need to tilt her head back and put your mouth over her nose again and give her 2 more puffs, okay? 2 more puffs of breath.
Dude, she's not dead, dude. Stop saying that shit, dude.
Let me know. Sir?
Brandon, where'd you go? She is not breathing,
Okay.
Brandon.
Sir? Hello?
So it sounds like from when the mom came in and started arguing with the boyfriend or the baby father, whoever the fuck this guy is, it sounded like a very domestic situation. And she keep yelling, this baby not breathing. You can tell that the guy on the phone really, I don't know, to me he sounded like he wasn't really giving the baby CPR. How he was just like, and just acting the way he was acting. Like, you can hear it in his voice, he didn't show no kind of emotion. But we gonna see how this situation play out.
Hello?
What the?
Sir? Hello? 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 Hello?
Before she's not dead, man. I'm mama died before she's not dead.
Hello? Hello?
The 2-month-old baby, Renee, had died of blunt force trauma to the head. Her parents, 18-year-old Brandon Moss and 20-year-old Laquanda R. Johns, were arrested by Cleveland authorities. They were arrested and indicted for aggravated murder. According to court documents, the baby's medical information showed signs of prolonged abuse, showing signs of broken ribs and a deep laceration to the rib. Some of the injuries were new, but many were older. In December 2015, Brandon Moss pleaded guilty to aggravated murder, felonious assault, and several counts of child endangering. He was sentenced to life in prison with the eligibility for parole after 15 years. Meanwhile, the infant's mother pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and endangering children. Since John suffered from mental problems and had an IQ of 55, she was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Hey, what's wrong tonight, sir?
There is a strange man outside our home, and he's hollering, and he's crying out. I don't know what's going on with him.
Can you see anything about him, what he looks like?
No, it's dark and raining.
Okay. Did he have a vehicle or is he on foot?
He's on foot.
Has he come to your door or windows?
He's at our door.
He's at your front door?
He's at our back deck.
At the back deck?
I'm going to give you my wife. I'm going to go get my gun.
Oh my God.
Ma'am, what's wrong?
He's trying to break down the door.
Okay, ma'am, we've got deputies headed that way, okay?
All right, thank you.
Don't hang up with me, okay?
Okay.
Listen, I want to tell you something. No matter what happens, just don't hang the phone up. You can set it down if you have to.
I don't know. I think he's got a gun. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
He has a gun.
I don't know if that's what he's got.
Ma'am, can you see the gun?
No, I don't know if that's what it is. He's trying to break down the door. I can't tell. He's just beating the door.
I hear him, ma'am. Ma'am, is he able to get in the door?
Not right now. He's trying.
Okay, what's he doing now, ma'am?
He's asking what date it is. He's talking about something about Vietnam in 1969.
I don't want to hurt you, okay?
Where's your husband? Still at the back door?
We're standing here in the kitchen. He is trying to get into the sliding glass door. I hear him walking around outside on the deck. I don't know. Oh my gosh. He's trying to get through the door. You have got to get somebody here.
They're on the way, ma'am, I promise, okay? They're coming as fast as they can.
Please, just go away. Please.
Is he talking to your husband?
He's beating on the door. I mean, I can even see the glass. It's going to break.
Ma'am, I can hear it, okay? I have officers on the way. Just stay on the phone with me. Everything's going to be all right.
He's counting. Oh, my God. Oh, God, he's getting ready to come in. Oh, my God. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God.
Ma'am, you still there?
Please get somebody here quick.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
What happened?
He just came through. My husband shot him, but he's still moving. Oh, Lord.
Okay, where did he shoot him?
I don't know. I don't know.
Where's your husband?
He's standing here in the kitchen to make sure he doesn't come in.
Okay, I want you to tell your husband to put the gun down.
But if he comes in to try and attack us,
ma'am, if he shot him, he's not, ma'am, if he shot him, he's not going to get up. Tell your husband to put the gun down, please.
He says to put the gun down, but...
Well, I can say one thing. If that motherfucker ain't dead, he ain't happy. And I guarantee he would not be breaking in somebody else's motherfucking house. He gonna think twice about that shit after getting hit with what Grandpa gave his ass.
Is he laying on the ground? Is he breathing?
We cannot tell. It is still dark.
Hello?
Have you put the weapon down?
I have put the weapon down.
Okay, now what happened?
He busted through my back patio door.
Okay.
And was coming into the house. And I shot 2 shots at him in the chest.
And is he laying on the back deck?
I'm pretty sure. It's dark. I hear him, I think, moaning some.
Okay, sir, I'm sorry about that.
In April 2009, 46-year-old Jody Hoover shot and killed 35-year-old Jerry Lee Jones Jr., who broke into the Hoover family's Boudetort County home. The homeowner wasn't charged following the shooting. Jones's sister, Margaret, said she believed her brother was drunk and confused about where he was. The 35-year-old had been depressed and was drinking because it was their late father's birthday. His friend, who lived in the area, dropped him off near the Hoovers' home when Jones became violent. This led Margaret to believe Jerry Lee Jones might have thought he was at his friend's house.